What if I told you that your e-commerce brand could siphon thousands of clicks directly from Amazon and turn them into your customers? I know that sounds bold, but here's the thing. Amazon dominates search results in almost every country they operate in, and that's not news. What is news is that for every product category where Amazon ranks #1, there are dozens of related searches where their organic presence is surprisingly weak or completely non-existent. And those searches represent millions of euros or dollars in available traffic just sitting there. In international markets especially, these gaps are even bigger because Amazon's SEO resources are spread thin across multiple countries and languages. And after analyzing hundreds of international e-commerce markets, I can show you exactly how to identify these gaps and build organic rankings that capture traffic Amazon is just leaving on the table. So in this video, I am walking you through the exact process for finding and dominating the search terms where Amazon is vulnerable in international markets. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right now, if you're running an e-commerce brand, you're probably feeling the Amazon squeeze. 56% of shoppers in the US start their product searches on Amazon. Not Google, Amazon. That means if you're not on Amazon, you're invisible to more than half of your potential customers before they even think about searching on Google. And it's not just the US problem. Amazon captures about 43% of traffic amongst the world's top 20 e-commerce sites. That is massive. But here's what most founders don't realize. Amazon's grip isn't as tight as it looks, especially outside their core markets. In the UK, Amazon holds about 30% market share compared to the 38% in the US. And in Japan, they're competing with Rakuten. In Brazil, Mercado Libre dominates, and in India, it's Flipkart. Amazon isn't the automatic winner everywhere. And even in markets where they're strong, their SEO strategy has exploitable weaknesses. Amazon namely optimizes for product pages, and they are incredible at that. But they systematically neglect informational searches, comparison content, and buying guides. They don't create content around how to choose queries or best for specific use case searches. They can because their business model simply doesn't support it. That is where you come in. Here is the truth that changes everything. Amazon's dominance in search is slipping because in just 1 year, Amazon's share of first product searches dropped from 61% to 57%. Meanwhile, TikTok shares doubled from 11% to 17%, and younger shoppers are skipping Amazon entirely and discovering their products on YouTube and TikTok first. Apart from that, Google itself has even started favoring helpful, in-depth content over thin marketplace listings, and their recent algorithm updates reward expertise and first-hand experience, which plays directly to your strengths as a brand owner. That's because you know your products way better than Amazon ever will, and you can create content that actually helps people make buying decisions. Amazon can do that without conflicting with their current marketplace sellers. There's another recent shift almost nobody is talking about. In July 2025, Amazon paused all their Google shopping ads globally, and for that month, other advertisers saw their cost per click drop by over 8%. This means that Amazon is rethinking how much they rely on Google, which means there's breathing room right now for brands that move fast. So we can actually see that the Amazon fortress has cracks, and those cracks are getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. So how do you actually exploit this? I am going to walk you through what I call the traffic take-back framework. It's a 7-step framework for systematically capturing the traffic Amazon is leaving behind, especially in international markets. These steps are the opportunity audit, localization, content strategy, site optimization, link building, alternative channels, and conversion. Each step builds on the last, and together they create a compounding effect that can shift your traffic mix from Amazon dependent to brand owned. Let me show you exactly how each one works. Alright guys, so here's what you're looking for. This is the 7-step framework to beat Amazon within Google, and in this presentation I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process to beat them in their own game. So the first slide I'm going to watch with you is the traffic take-back framework, and the 7-step system is helping you systematically capturing the traffic Amazon is leaving behind. So the first step we're going to look at is the opportunity audit. So there we're going to identify where Amazon ranks low or isn't appearing. Then the second step is the localization aspect, which is the creation of country-specific content in native languages. The third step is going to be the content strategy, so you can develop helpful content that Amazon legally cannot create. The fourth is site optimization, which is showing you how to optimize your product pages to outperform Amazon in search. The fifth one is the link building aspect, so you can build strategic local backlinks for market authority. The sixth one is alternative channels to capture attention on platforms where Amazon is weak. And the last one is conversion to match Amazon's basics while you are beating them on experience. So let's start with the first step. So the first step is the opportunity audit. And here's what you're looking for. You're looking for keywords where Amazon ranks, but is not specifically ranking at the top. So if Amazon is sitting at spot number 3 to 10, that's a signal because Amazon has insane authority. So if it's not on number 1, it usually means one of the two things. Either Google thinks that the query is not helpful enough for showing a listing, or that local competitors are more relevant for that specific query. So that's basically your entry point. So your audit checklist is looking at long-tail specific queries, checking each market on the local Google domain, and finding terms where Amazon is present but is not actually dominating. Amazon can own terms like wireless headphones, but they can systematically ignore searches like best wireless headphones for running or best wireless headphone for business meetings. Because obviously they have so many different brands listed in their product assortment that it's not ethical and also not really legal for them to give recommendations. This will hurt their business a lot. So these are terms that you can rank for and where you can show your own products in listings, and you can also compare your own products against other competitors, which is also strong in terms of showing the use case of your products. Another thing is that it is important to check the different versions of Google. So for example, the rankings on these types of keywords in the US will significantly vary to the rankings in Spain or in the Netherlands or in France. So you should check, especially if you're an international e-commerce brand, how the rankings are performing in each specific country and how you can compete, for example, in the Spanish SERPs or in the German SERPs or in the Dutch SERPs. And you can also check the differences between those SERPs because there might be opportunities in specific countries that you have overlooked. Another thing that is quite important is the localization, because this is where a lot of international brands mess it up. They just translate their website and they call it localized, but that's not the case. So localization means having country-specific pages with country-specific subfolders with real translation by humans who understand the buying language of that specific country. And the great thing about it is, for example, if Amazon is ranking with an English page in Germany and you have a competing page that is written in German for German buyers, Google sees that and thinks that your page is way more relevant than this, well, English Amazon page that's probably ranking because of authority. So if you find a lot of those types of queries, it might be interesting to, well, translate it because it will rank faster, it will be more relevant, and it will convert better. I've seen many brands go from invisible to actually ranking in page 1 in 3 weeks if they do proper localization. And another thing to consider is you don't specifically have to have separate domains. So you see a lot of e-commerce brands that have separate domains to rank. For this type of work, it might be easier, but for having subdirectories, it could also work. You just need to set up the correct href lengths and you will perform just as well. This is the first steps. Find the gaps, speak the language of the customer that is locally searching, and finding these really nice opportunities where Amazon is either underperforming and not relevant enough. That means that you can get those spots, or localizing where Amazon isn't localizing and then taking those spots because you're way more relevant than Amazon is on those queries. So that's the first step in the 7-step framework. Yeah, a few examples that maybe can show some extra clarifying imaging. That would be to, for example, focus your attention on either informational queries where you can show your product better. So which material water bottle is best for health, or which water bottle is best for kids at school, or what is the best material for water bottle. All those types of queries Amazon is not going to rank on, and you can use these queries to A, show your expertise on specific context, and B, obviously also show your product. And in that sense, it is easy to get, well, buyer intent customers. Another thing that's interesting is obviously the best type of keyword. So best water for kids, or best water bottle for travel, or best water bottle for gym, because these queries have a lot of buyer intent. You can showcase your product against competitors, and you can also win a lot of traffic where Amazon simply just can't compete with you. Okay guys, so let's start with steps number 3 and 4, where step 3 will be content strategy and step 4 will be site optimization. optimization. Step 3 is the content strategy, and this is actually your unfair advantage against Amazon. And that's simply because Amazon can't publish best of guides or comparison guides, and they also aren't gonna publish deep how-to guides without upsetting their sellers and them actually becoming a publisher, which is what they absolutely don't want and they will never do. So you can do this. You can publish content that targets the research phase of your customers. So I would suggest you start with publishing best product for use case type of content, brand versus brand type of content, where you utilize your competitive advantage against the products that other e-commerce brands sell. You can choose content that targets how to choose product in X country, for example. And other steps that you can do in your content strategy are creating in-depth guides about what size or what material or what specifications do I need that target customers that is looking for this information. Another great thing is that you can actually also do this per market, because a customer in Germany might search for other products than a customer in Spain. And the reason why you would do that is international SEO isn't just a language, it's intent and it's terminology. People in countries just search differently with different words, different meaning and different context, because in Spain it's way harder than in the Netherlands. So people just have different desires that you can play into. The fourth step in the process is site optimization. And the great thing is, this is where you can actually win clicks before you are ranking on number one. So for example, you would want to have review and FAQ schema so you can earn rich snippets within Google. You want to have fast loading times, and you want to have those especially on mobile phones. And also you can give way completer information so that the user actually won't leave your website and bounce back to Amazon to double check, because here is a big danger. You can actually rank on a lot of keywords and then still lose the sale to Amazon because your page feels incomplete. So it's super important to at least answer the shipping and returns policy, the sizing, the specs, the compatibility of your product. And you can also integrate a lot of trust elements like reviews, customer use cases. All those types of things are important. And then also answering questions in your FAQs way more deeply than Amazon would do. So for example, answering questions like, what happens if this doesn't work for me? And there's tons of other questions that you can think of that are important to answer for your customer. And if you generally look at Amazon pages, they are very in-depth in terms of specifications, but a lot of times really answering questions that your customer has is not really being done properly. So there's a lot of chances there to optimize. Now you're ranking on content and you are actually converting on your product pages, then we should focus on the actual next step in the process, and that is building authority and having localized authority across different country pages that you might target in your strategy. So we're going to look at that now in step number 5, which is strategic link building. And you need to do strategic link building to your product pages, but you also need to do strategic link building on a local aspect. So a lot of mistakes I see brands make is they are building generic links, not focusing on local backlinks building, and they're expecting them to just work. Instead, you need to focus on a country by country specific link building strategy where you, for example, target local bloggers. So target local bloggers in Spain, or target local influencers in France or in Germany that have a direct relationship to your product, and get those links from their blog website, or focus on niche publications. So if you, for example, have an athletic brand, start to target blogs of runners in a specific country that are releasing a lot of content around that subject and try to get a link in there. Another thing you can do is target industry partners. So try to build relationships with your suppliers and try to get links from them to your website. Another thing that you can do is get links on relevant directories in a specific market. So in Germany, for example, it's really important to have a lot of directory links. You can target those and start to get links from directories, which are pretty easy to get. I would say you should remember that there is one rule where quality always beats quantity. So one credible local mention or local newspaper link can move rankings way faster than a mountain of junk that you can easily acquire and build. And I would say that is also the case if you want to beat Amazon. So always try to get quality links, because 5 good links will demolish 500 spam links. The next step is step Number 6, be where Amazon isn't, because this is where you actually start beating Amazon before you're even focusing on search. So people that are looking for your products are searching products on YouTube, are searching products on TikTok, are searching products on Reddit. And also stuff like Pinterest, forums and communities can be very interesting to target, because here's why it matters. I did some research, and in one consumer report, about 35% of customers said that they are browsing or shopping on TikTok Shop weekly, and 23% in that report said that they even bought directly on TikTok Shop. Even if you don't sell there right now, this behavior is telling you something, that discovery is moving upstream. So your goal should be to be present where interest begins and then capture that search demand if it follows. Now we have walked through step 6. And we got traffic coming in. The final step will be to not let that traffic lead back to Amazon at the checkout point, because that is a very frustrating and it just completely destroys all the work you are doing in this framework. So step 7 is converting customers, and it is simple to say and hard to execute, because you have to match Amazon on convenience and beat them on experience. So if your direct store feels a little bit risky, people will research on your website, then go back to Google and buy on Amazon, which is super frustrating. And you have to match the basics first on Amazon. So match them on shipping speed, match them on easy returns, set clear delivery expectations, and then also don't forget the payment part and deliver on trusted payment options like Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, and PayPal, for example, because that's the way you can actually beat where Amazon can compete and can compete with you. And the things that you should focus on and should really differentiate from Amazon is human support, having a strong brand story, having good loyalty programs, offering bundles and guidance for products that you might sell, and then having like a very focused, unique post-purchase experience, because Amazon does this really well, but they are so big that they really don't have the, focus to really guide the post-purchase experience as you can as a smaller brand. So that's very important. And another thing I would like to emphasize is you should not waste building relationship with your clients. So capture their emails, capture their telephone numbers to, for example, do SMS marketing, because the second purchase is where direct actually becomes a machine. So these are all things that are also very important in this framework, because you can do the 6 steps perfectly, but if you mess up the 7th step, it will not really matter at all. So this is the 7-step framework that you should focus on. And if you look at the results that you can get, and if you look at what success could actually look like, it's important to have a realistic picture of this. So this isn't a 1-week hack that you can just implement and boom, sales will come in. No, this is a compounding system, because over 6 to 12 months, if you execute this system in order, brands often will see a shift from mostly Amazon to mostly direct. And the real win isn't just margin, it's actually the data that you get. It's the customer insight that you get. It's the ability to launch products without begging an algorithm. So the expectation setting that you should do for yourself is, if you do steps 1 and 2 correctly, that's the market selection and the localization, everything else will become a lot easier. So if you skip those, you will be publishing content in the wrong market, you will build links in the wrong places, and you will also wonder why nothing really sticks. So let's make this practical and let's make this action focused. And that's where I will kind of end this framework. And that will be your 7-step action framework that you can implement over time. You don't need to really do everything tomorrow. You can start with step 1 and build from there. So the most important thing is that you just execute these steps consistently. And in that way, you will be able to systematically shift your traffic mix from being Amazon dependent to brand owned. So screenshot this checklist. A great thing about this is you don't even have to do that, because I will share this presentation in the description below. So you can keep it as your roadmap and you will have this checklist in place everywhere you go. So the first step in the checklist is audit keywords. So find the keywords where Amazon ranks between spot 3 to 10. Focus on long tail specific questions and check if you can find international gaps where Amazon, for example, is ranking with English content and you can rank with German, French, or Dutch content. The second step is localizing your site, so adding country-specific pages with professional translation done by native writers, and implement hreflang tags so you have proper language targeting. The third step is publishing helpful content, so creating multiple buying guides, comparison content, the best content, or how-to articles that answers questions that Amazon is simply not answering right now. Then optimizing your product pages on a technical level, so making sure there is schema markup for rich snippets, improving your site speed, making the information super complete and compelling, and basically differentiating yourself against Amazon in that matter. Then the fifth step is getting quality backlinks, getting them from local bloggers, getting them from industry publications, relevant review sites. And you can do that on a national level in one country, but you can also do that on an international level. So you target international publishers that might send links to your product pages or to your e-commerce brand's website or store at all. So the sixth step that you then need to proceed on is setting up alternative channels, because you have to think in a multi-channel way. So set up product videos on YouTube, create TikTok content, set up your TikTok store as well, going on Reddit community, answering questions, bringing engagement there around your product, or make interesting visual representations of your product or your product's use cases on Pinterest boards, which can also help in specific niches. And then the last step you need to do is match and beat Amazon. So match them on their basics like shipping, returns, and speed, and then absolutely beat them on experience with your service delivery, the storytelling you do with your brand, the loyalty programs that you can implement for your customers. So I would say start off this week, start focusing on, let's say, the first and the second step, and take it from there. Do it consistently and do it for a long time, and you will see results. I would say don't do all 7 at once, because that will just distract you. It will also be hard to focus on all those. First nail 1, 2, or 3 steps, and then move on along, and you will do fantastic. Another thing that I would like to say is we have been doing a lot of testing on Amazon product pages as well. So this might be interesting to look at as well if you have listings on Amazon. So we have actually been able to manipulate Google rankings with Amazon product pages. So if you're not going to follow this whole framework, there are other ways to play and steal traffic with Amazon actually. And that is, if you, for example, have a supplement that you are selling on Amazon, we have been running viral traffic campaigns to product pages that are properly optimized, and they just absolutely dominate within 24 to 48 hours. So to just show you, this is a client of ours that does a lot of supplement selling on Amazon. And as you can see, the volumes are absolutely insane on these types of keywords, and they were non-existing. They were basically not showing up anywhere in Google with their product page. And what we did is we sent viral traffic to these pages, and we absolutely ranked within 24 to 48 hours on keywords with 47,000, 14,800, even 301k monthly volume within 24 to 48 hours. So you can imagine if your Amazon product listing is ranking on number 1 in Google and it has these types of volumes attached to it, people will start buying on Amazon like crazy. So we have done that for many product keywords. So if you are selling on Amazon and if you have product pages there, this is a strategy that's absolutely dominating right now. So if you want to give that a try, and if you want to learn more about that, you can open up this presentation and you can click this button here and you can contact us, and we will help you out by ranking your product pages in 24 to 48 hours on Amazon itself within Google. Super interesting. I wanted to share this as well because it's quite related to this topic. And if you find this interesting, you can just contact us and we will help you. So in this presentation, obviously, I have a frequently asked questions section where I will answer 15 questions that a lot of people have regarding to Amazon SEO, but also within the framework that I have described in this video. I am not going to answer them all in this video because it will take ages to do. So again, download this presentation if you have any questions, and I'm quite certain that within these 15 questions there are a lot of answers that you might be looking for. And with that, I will end the presentation right now and you can take a look later on. So there you have it, the 7-step traffic takeback framework: opportunity audit, localization, content, optimization, links, alternative channels, and conversion. Execute these consistently and you'll shift your traffic mix from Amazon dependent to brand owned. The data backs this up. Brands implementing international SEO strategies like this see organic traffic increases of 200 to 300% within 6 to 12 months. And even more importantly, they own those customer relationships. If you want help executing this for your brand, check the first link in the description. We offer a free audit where we'll analyze your market and show you exactly where Amazon is vulnerable. And drop a comment. Which international market are you targeting first? I want to know personally. Hit subscribe if you want more strategies like this, and thank you very much for watching. Now go build your traffic empire.